Welcome back to Ford of Murfreesboro. Platinum Expedition Max. First of all, not only have they redone the entire front, the entire inside, the entire outside, but they've also changed the trim levels. The base model is active. Then there's Platinum. Then there's Trimmer. Then there's King Ranch. So we're slotted right here in the center with the Platinum, the Expedition Max. Remember, we're going after all of the big, huge General Motors products. Yukon XL, Cadillac ESV, Suburban, Armada, Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer. Anyway, a lot of competition right here. Big, huge third row SUVs. We're towing 9,600 pounds in Expedition form. In Expedition Max form, 9,000 pounds. You've got two different engines. Well, it's actually one engine, but it's different tunes and things like that. 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. We've heard about that before. 400 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. That's the base trim. That's just the regular. But you could get the Stealth package. And when you do the Stealth package, that bumps it up to 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Monster. It's weighing in just a touch under 6,000 pounds, but that engine motivates it to 60 miles an hour in less than 5 seconds. Let me say that again. This will outrun a stock S197 Mustang. It could outrun a stock S550 Mustang. It might even, probably not, but it might sit. You never know, somebody might miss the shift. But what I'm trying to say is rock it, and the entire family can come along. It seats like 7, 8 people, whatever. All right, let's talk about some of the new stuff. As you can tell, it looks different than it did from previous generations. It's gone full Lincoln. I hate to say that, but this right here kind of makes me question, why would you buy a Lincoln Navigator? Look how juicy all this is. Okay, enough of that. 24 inches worth of panoramic display. Massive. 13.2 inches worth of screen right there in the center that holds all the goodies. The heated and cooled seats, the headlight controls, all of that stuff. Let's go back to those trim levels again. Active, Platinum, Trimmer. Does anybody remember a couple years ago, the Timberline? Everybody right now has an off-road SUV. Everyone. Well, Ford did not get rid of one to not replace it. The Trimmer is now the Timberline, and the Trimmer is a monster. It gets 33-inch General Grabber all-terrain tires, just right off the rip. If you get it with the 440 horsepower and the 510, the Stealth package engine, man, you talk about an off-road situation. It's got the Trimmer riding and all of that, you know, the gold. Hold it, I don't do off-road, man. I'm not into that. Okay. King Ranch. They make air fresheners that smell like King Ranch, the interior of that. If you've never smelled a King Ranch interior, you should do that. They come in Expedition, Explorer, F-150s. They're in a lot of different Ford products. Anyway, phenomenal. Real thick leather. The river. Oh, anyway. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Okay. One of the favorite features that they have changed this year, the split opening tailgate. Kind of gives it like a little picnic table deal going on at the bottom right there. A lot of higher end SUVs and crossovers have this. I'm glad Ford borrowed that and we brought that in there. Power everything. It's got a huge dual pane sunroof. Let's talk about pricing. Actually, before we get to pricing, let's talk about some options. You could get 22-inch optional wheels. You could get an optional 22-inch or 22-speaker B&O sound system. 22 speakers. By the way, did I mention almost 40 inches worth of screen in there? It's all about that now. Whether you like that or not, that's what it's going. Anyway, okay, now let's talk about some pricing. The Active starts at about $64,000. That is, I guess, the XLT, because they have changed that. We only got 4 different trim levels now. Active, Platinum, Trimmer, King Ranch. So XLT is now Active. Platinum, I guess that would be a Lariat, maybe. I don't we'll call it that. We've already discussed the Trimmer. That replaced the Timberline. And then top of the rung, the King Ranch. Platinum starts at 76. The one that you're looking at right now, I'm going to show the window sticker in just a second. I believe it's 82,000 and some change. Then you've got the trimmer that starts at around 82, 83,000. And then the King Ranch starts at about 86,000 and goes on up from there. In my opinion, this is the most extensive redo that Ford's ever done with the Expedition. It's pretty luxurious in there. Like I said at the beginning, it kind of makes you wonder why anyone would upgrade to the Lincoln Navigator. By the way, that dash is really squishy and soft. Sorry. Thank you so much for watching the video. Contact Ford of Murfreesboro for details, availability,